Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products. Anything else you want to say to your fans, man?
Man, shout out to Dontaesboxingnation. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Errol Spence Jr., my whole name, and just look out for me.
Yes, sir. Let me dig into your brain. Folks falling like rain.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? So as I just reported earlier, Mikey Garcia, he said in a recent interview that he would like to fight Errol Spence. Mikey Garcia, the reason why he said that is because he said he doesn't believe he's being taken seriously in the sport right now. He doesn't believe he got the credit that he deserves, or that he thinks he deserves, after the Adrian Broner fight. And there's no doubt about it. It's true, he didn't get the credit. I mean, even trainers like Abel Sanchez and other trainers have said, that fight was more of Broner not showing up as opposed to Mikey Garcia looking impressive. The way Errol Spence just looked against Lamont Peterson. Because we can truly say in that fight, by way of contrast, that was an impressive performance by Errol Spence. And like I said in the press conference after the fight, that's the type of performance that makes other fighters at the welterweight division even more hesitant to get in the ring with Errol Spence. So with all that being said, once again, Mikey Garcia, he said he wants to fight Errol Spence. He says not right away. He wants to fight maybe 2 more fights and then maybe fight Errol Spence at the end of 2018. Now, Errol Spence, he actually responded. Matter of fact, he responded on Boxing Ego's post on his Instagram, and he basically rolled his eyes, basically saying, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. This is pretty much how Errol Spence responded to Mikey Garcia saying this. But see, this is what I say. I say, forget just looking at it as he's not serious. I say call his bluff. I say call his bluff and call up Al Heyman and say, Al, go ahead and reach out to Mikey Garcia's people and see if we can work out a deal. See if we can work out a deal to where Mikey Garcia, he fights 2 more times, and then at the end of the year, we already have it penciled in right now that as long as I win my 2 next fights and he wins his 2 next fights, we fight 2018. Have it all set up and structured the same way they have it set up in the NBA, right? We know no matter what teams are playing against each other right now, we know that the 2 best teams are going to meet up at the end of the season. So that's how boxing should be structured. Just like that. Kind of like Andre Ward when he fought against Sergey Kovalev, right? Andre Ward, way before he fought Sergey Kovalev, he had to fight 2 more times. Him and Sergey, they had to fight 2 times before they faced each other at the end of that 3-fight deal. So they had already signed a contract, even though they had 2 opponents that they had to beat before they get in the ring against each other. The same thing could be done for this Mikey Garcia situation. So that's why I say, Errol Spence people, they should reach out to Al Heyman right now and send, and call up, have his people call up Mikey Garcia's people and see if Mikey is serious. And then Errol Spence's people, they can go ahead and release the info to the public and let us know if Mikey was serious or not, because we'll find out real quick after that. We'll find out real quick after that if Mikey was serious or not. If Mikey gets a phone call and we see how Team Mikey reacts, then we'll know if they're serious. I would like to believe that Mikey is serious when he says something like that. I mean, I won't say he's 100% serious, but I think, there's some curiosity there, wondering, man, how big would that be if I were to go in there and, beat the Goliath that no one would give me a chance of beating, which is Errol Spence. not too many fighters come out and just call out fighters that they know they don't want to fight. So that's why, like I said, I have to take Mikey for his word. I believe that, he's thinking about it. I know he was serious when he called out Keith Thurman. I know he was serious because after Keith Thurman fought Danny Garcia, a whole lot of fighters came out saying, man, I want to fight Keith Thurman now. He looked a little vulnerable in that fight. He looked vulnerable in fights before that. But the only fighter I can really think of that was known for coming out and saying he wants to fight a certain dangerous opponent, but he really didn't want to, and he was just doing that for marketing purposes or just trying to mess with some other type of guy that was calling him out, is Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya is someone that was known for calling out certain fighters that he knew he wasn't going to fight, just to kind of, poke at some other fighter. I'll give you a perfect example. When Oscar was still fighting, Margarito was chasing the Oscar De La Hoya fight. Oscar had no interest in fighting Margarito. Now, at the time, while Margarito was trying to pursue a De La Hoya fight, Paul Williams, he was chasing Margarito, and Margarito wasn't interested in that Paul Williams fight at the time. So what Oscar did to kind of shun Margarito is Oscar said, you know what? I think I'm going to fight Paul Williams next, right? So he was really just kind of poking at Margarito because he knew Margarito wanted to fight him, and he knew that Margarito didn't want to fight Paul Williams. So what does Oscar do? He says, I'm going to call out the guy that even Margarito doesn't want to fight. And I remember Margarito, he responded laughing like, oh yeah, right, Oscar. Like, you're going to really fight Paul Williams, right? So, I just think about that funny story. But that's the only time I could think of a fighter not really meaning it when he says, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. So once again, the way we find out if this is just a bluff is if, once again, Errol Spence's people, if they contact Al Heyman and they get Team Garcia on the phone and they see how they respond and react. Let's see what happens. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.